Oh, hey there, it's Bravelo West, and this is how I do my makeup on show or filming days. I start with a primer. This one is by Makeup Revolution. I've used some others, it's fine. I'm not affiliated with any of these brands. And then I brush my brows out with a spoolie brush. And then the next step is a brown eyeliner pencil. So I just line underneath my eyes and then I wing it out to, I kind of aim for like the bottom line of where my brow is as a bit of a guide. I know a lot of people wing from the top, but I do it from the bottom, just how I do it. And then I line the top lash line as well on both sides. Just get it right in there. And I'll make sure that my eyeballs look like they're lined up on the same face. I'm gonna stick some concealer on, kind of like a base for my eyeshadow, except it's just concealer. And I stick it in the inner corners as well, because I get some like purpley blue in there. And whilst I'm there, I might as well just go ahead and stick it on some blemishes. And yeah, anywhere I get a little bit of redness. And I do a little thing up the bridge of my nose. Just to, I don't really know why I do that. I saw that that's a thing you do, but I do it again later, so I don't know why I do it now. But we're just gonna go with it. Now I blend it out with my finger. Still blending. This video is sped up to 2 times as fast as I did it. So that's just good to know. Now we're on to some eyeshadow, and this palette is, again, it's Makeup Revolution, and the palette is called Forever Flawless Constellation. And the color I'm using is called Mars right now. And I just put a little bit of that underneath, kind of over and underneath where I put the brown eyeliner, and I'm trying to just use it to kind of blend out that eyeliner a little bit and add that cool Mars color, you know. Everybody needs a bit of that. Same color again on the upper lids, and I just start out mapping out the corners of my eyeball. And then I just do a windshield maneuver, just full of Mars goodness. And then I take a little blending brush and I soften it up a little bit. Kind of looks like I know what I'm doing here, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mad about this. I even have a blending brush, which didn't happen until recently, but I do. Okay. This is a MAC, like pigmented powder, and I put a little bit of water on the brush first, and I'm just actually having a look. Yep. I overdrew it accidentally, and I had to go back in with Mars to fix it up. Now it's time for more eyeliner. So this time it's black, and I do my waterline, and then I pretty much outline everything that I did in the brown one, but I do it a bit more boldly, and I do it with a bit more precision, because this is part of trying to layer the makeup to make the eyes pop a bit more. And just really making sure that that wing looks quite precise at this stage. And it's time for another layer of, this time it is eyeshadow. I'm going over what I just did, but I'm doing it in a dark brown metallic eyeshadow color. This one's by Chi Chi. I don't know the name of it because it's so old that the label's worn off. But I use brown over the black because I feel like it's a little bit softer than black over black. And at this point, I usually start getting some fallout where the color starts getting under my eyes and onto my face. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to clean that up later, so you can get as messy as you want here. And I also use that same color and I do the crease of my eyelids to make that defined as well. I realized at this point that I forgot to curl my eyelashes at the start of this, and that is normally when I do it, but nevertheless, I realized it at this point, and so just have to roll with it. So here we are rolling. Like, nobody will ever know. Okay, you can't even see the color, but this is that same palette, but it's a different maroony color, but it's brighter. This one's called Jupiter, and it's a bit brighter pink, and they put that just above the crease line, and that's like layering on top of the Mars color to make it all look like it's going to the same party. And I put a little bit of that color also underneath the eyes. More layers. Oh, blending brush out again. Look at me blending my shadow. I honestly think right now I'm actually just showing off that I have a blending brush and I know how to use it. That is the move to let you know that mascara is coming next. And this one is by Maybelline. It's Sky High Lashes, and I think the color is Blackest Black. It's hard not to look whack doing mascara, but an important thing to do is to accidentally wipe makeup onto your face. That usually helps, I find. And the time has come to clean up everything that has fallen underneath the eyes. And so for that, this is micellar water on a cotton pad, which I fold up, and then I just use the kind of corner of it to get all the makeup off, really. And I also use it to kind of shape the ends and the corner of my makeup so that both sides look the same. So if the shape is a bit weird on one side, I just tidy it up. It's kind of a great trick, really. And now that we're all cleaned up, it's time for foundation. So this again is a Makeup Revolution foundation. I don't know the color, but it's a liquid, and I put some drops on the back of my hand, and then I take a foundation brush and I dab it in and just dab it around my face. And I will use the brush to blend it once I've got it in all the spots it needs to go. I have to also use some foundation on that side shave bit, just to color match, otherwise it looks a bit weird. And my ears tend to go a little bit red, especially if I'm on stage, so I have to put a little bit of foundation over my ears and on my neck too, where I blend. I really don't like the way foundation feels on my skin, so I find if I use a moist blending brush, it makes it feel just a little bit less gross, and it blends it out a little bit more evenly, which I'm doing right here. Trying really hard not to drag it. And now it's time to comb out the hair. All right, my hair is out of the way and it is time for brows. So I brush through them one more time with a clean spoolie brush, and then I'm using a Wet n Wild brow palette. It's for blondes, and I go first with a light shade just to get a gentle shape, and then I go over again with a bit more detail and filling them in a darker shade. You know I love some layers, and I love to draw on my business brows. You can really tell how intense I mean to get in a conversation depending upon how intense my brows are. So today is medium to strong on the brow intensity. You know, brows take time, and you gotta match them up a little bit. They never look the same as each other. That is totally fine. But you kind of just get it there or thereabouts. And that's, again, the same clean spoolie brush. I just blend the powder with that. And then this is the same concealer brush that I used in the beginning for my eyelids, and I haven't put any extra product on it, but it still has a little bit on it, so I just use that to tidy up and give them a bit of a sharper line. Business brows are done, and so I am using some concealer now, the same concealer I used in the beginning, to brighten up the under eye. It's the same brush that I used for my eyelids, and I don't use a lot of product here. I like to go pretty lightly because I find it just settles into my fine lines a bit, and then I use it up the bridge of my nose to give it a little bit more of an anime look, and that combined with contour later on gives it a little bit of a fun extra dimension. And I blend that out with a damp makeup sponge, the same one. Now it's time for contouring, and I am starting with that brown color. I do not know what brand this is or what color because I dropped it on the floor and it broke, and I had to put it back together with duct tape, and so it's covered up the entire label. Nevertheless, it works just fine now, and I put that contouring color underneath my cheekbones, along this part of my face, and underneath where my jawline is. And then I take a clean brush and I just buff it all out just to blend it and make it a little bit less whack looking. Now it's time for blush. I'm going to place it on my cheekbones, above where I've put the contour, a little bit on the apples of my cheeks, and around my face where the contour has been, except I don't put it on the side of my nose. Now it is time for the first layer of lip color, which is, I think the color is called Iced Mauve. It's a liquid last lip color by the company Model Rock. And it dries pretty quickly, so if you mess up, you gotta get right in there and correct it. But it lasts for ages, so there's that. So in my mind right now, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use false eyelashes, because it doesn't always go well and it could be a disaster, but I've got no lipstick on my teeth, things are going well so far, I'm gonna do it. So these are eyelashes by Model Rock, and the eyelash glue that I like to use is Duo, and I take a bit of eyelash glue, I put it on the back of my hand, and then I take the lashes and I drag them through the glue gently, and it gives a nice even coat of glue across the lash. I think that it's a better technique than doing it right onto the actual lash. I saw a makeup artist do it once, I thought it looked really cool, and now I do it and claim it. So I'm ready to put the lashes on, and then I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm gonna do this looking into a camera, because you really need to have a mirror right up close. So right now I'm just navigating how I'm gonna get a mirror into my hand with the lashes. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that went really well for me. That does not usually go so well. Sometimes I have to pull it off and do it again. This was not one of those times, so I'm taking the win. Thank you for sharing that moment with me. Now it's time for layer 2 of lip color. This is a little bit lighter than the first one. It is by Chi Chi. It's called Sex Bomb, which I don't even know if I'm allowed to say on the internet. But then I also go over the top of that with a lighter gloss. This one's from the Body Shop, and it's called Sugar Icing. Okay, the makeup is done, so I'm gonna wipe all of that goo off of my hands. And now it's time to get into the bling. That is Spirit Gum that I'm using. It's from Body FX. And that is what I use to stick the bling to the side of my head. So I just peel the crystals off of the sheet. And then I put a little dab of Spirit Gum and decorate away. One of the questions I get a lot about the side bling is if you can reuse the crystals, and the answer is yes, absolutely. These are just crystals I bought from a craft store, and when I'm done using them, I just gently peel them off, and I can remove the spirit gum from the back of them with some isopropyl alcohol, which is just rubbing alcohol. And then, yeah, once the back is clean, I just store them and they're good to go. once I am finished putting on the last bit of bling, then I'm pretty much finished. The last final step for the look is just to do some finishing spray, which I do, and I don't use powder even at this stage. I know, I'm supposed to. I just don't like it at all. So that's all. Thanks so much for watching.